take a week's vacation, turn off your cell phone, do not communicate with the office, and then come back a week later. Well, while you were gone, guess what? Some things are going to come up that people didn't know how to do. They're going to look in their little book that's got all the details, and guess what? We missed a few things. So you go back and you tweak it again, and you make some more adjustments. And then a few months later, you go on vacation for another week. And as time goes on, you make it for 2 weeks or 3 weeks until finally, your company gets to the point where it can run without you being there. And then you've got something that you could possibly sell to the customer, to a future owner of your company. Okay. So I urge you, when things are slow, put documentation inside of a 3-ring notebook. It takes a while. It's going to take you a couple of probably years to do that effectively. But start the process. Otherwise, it'll never get done. So again, when times are slow, look for new opportunities. Look for what might not have been obvious before. Put systems into place, and then test those systems. Now, what does a customer want? Today's customer wants 3 things, and I've proved this to myself for the last 26-plus years. The customer today wants 3 things. Number 1, quality work. Number 2, that you did what you said you were going to do. You've described the repair, the installation, the replacement. You've described what you're going to do. So number 1, quality work. Number 2, do what you said you're going to do. And number 3, and probably most important, do it when you said you were going to do it. The number 1 customer complaint in all 50 states and every trade out there is that contractors in general don't show up on time.
Mm-hmm.
That's the number 1 complaint across the nation.
Number 1 complaint in my house. Tom, we have just readied our house for some old historic house tour. My wife had virtually every tradesman out there, not renovating the house, but from landscaping and irrigation to exterior lighting to painting, carpentry work, a little bit of roofing. I mean, the things that you some of it's forced by having this deadline, and others are sort of neglected things. 3 out of 5 wouldn't call back or didn't show up when they said.
Absolutely.
And that was a last attempt. But anyway, very true.
And you're 100% right. And I've told contractors this for 25 years, and it still applies. If you do quality work, you do what you said you're going to do, when you said you're going to do it, you will be so far above the competition, your phone will be ringing off the hooks, because that's the credibility that's lacking in our industry.
Yeah.
Now, that's a fault of the industry, but it also gives you a tremendous opportunity as a contractor in the middle of that process. Now, I want to talk about a fellow by the name of Roger the Plumber. Some of you probably know him. Roger lives in Kansas City, Kansas, actually Overland Park. And Roger's a good friend of mine. And back in 1995, he was what I would consider the typical plumber. Roger did new construction, he did remodeling, and he did service work. And the bottom line is he worked really, really, really hard and wasn't making much money. And he finally got frustrated with the whole situation and said, I've had enough. And he looked at his company and the 3 areas he was working in. He said, which one has the most potential for profit?